Hey everybody, it's Tom Sommers with Coldwell Banker Burnett. I'm here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area. I'm a licensed real estate agent, for those of you that don't know and are tuning in for the first time. Today I want to talk about what's going on in the market here locally. So this is early 2017 in February, and I want to talk about how everyone's being impacted from a buyer's standpoint. Right now we have almost historic low inventory. We're very short on homes for sale. So I'm seeing a lot of multiple offers. The other thing I'm starting to see is people who normally wouldn't consider a foreclosure thinking, well, maybe that'll be the way for me to go because I'm willing to do a little extra work to fix it up to get into the home and not overpay or get in multiple offers. So I thought it would be important to at least mention what the similarities and the differences are with foreclosures. So purchasing a foreclosure is really no different than purchasing a home from a traditional seller. The big difference is the bank owns the house rather than a traditional seller. A HUD home is also a bank-owned home or a foreclosure. They just happen to be owned by the government. But it's the same general idea of how you go about it. But what I think you need to understand with a foreclosure is that the asset managers who look at these and make a decision view it differently than they do a traditional seller. So with a traditional seller, for instance, you could probably do $1,000 in earnest money and not have a problem depending on what your price range is. With a foreclosure, sometimes doing twice that much in earnest money makes the asset manager and the bank feel like you're a better buyer because you're willing to put up a little bit more as an investment to start with. The other thing is paperwork. It really comes down to paperwork. I sat down when I first started in this business 14 years ago with one of my mentors who does nothing but list foreclosures for sale. He doesn't show homes to buyers. He doesn't do anything that work with the bank. And I sat down, I said, Hal, explain this to me. And he did. He went through detail and explained exactly how you go forward and you put an offer in on a foreclosure. And it's worked great for me ever since. He said the majority of mistakes that are made with someone who doesn't end up getting the offer or getting the purchase for the foreclosure is the agent typically made some type of mistake. And it's not a huge mistake, it's the small mistakes that count. Anything from forgetting to add the pre-approval letter, not dating all of the pages, not following their checklist to make sure that every sheet of paper and everything is filled out correctly and sent in order. This is a purchase agreement, as you can see, lots of pages here for some clients of mine. I just wrote for a foreclosure on the north side of town. There's going to be extra hoops. There always is when you're dealing with a bank, but they're typically always clearly stated and written out for the agent. They just need to literally follow instructions. So don't be scared of a foreclosure. You can always offer on those and you can come in lower. It's no different than a traditional sale with the respect of you negotiating back and forth with the owner to try to come to terms. The thing I really want to drive home is it really has a lot to do with how that offer is presented. So if you're in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area and you are thinking about buying a home, be it a foreclosure or a short sale or a traditional sale, if you've got questions, give me a call. I'm more than happy to answer anything that you want to know and happy to have a conversation. But get out there and get looking for homes and don't be scared of foreclosures. Just know that the system is going to be a little different. There's going to be additional paperwork and they're going to make you jump through some hoops. But all of it can be worth it if you're purchasing that home for the right price. There's a lot more to go into at this point, but I'm not going to do it today. So just look for other videos and audio from me that explain some more detail of the foreclosure buying process and traditional homes. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you.